3.4, we're going to talk about the rational zero theorem. So we use this if we have something that doesn't factor. This is a way that we can find answers to our polynomial. So it's often called P over Q or last over first, where we'll take factors of the last term and divide it by factors of the first, and that gives us our possible solutions. And I'll show you what we do with them to find out if it's a real solution. So looking at example 1, we're going to find the rational zeros. So I'm going to take my factors of the last. What are two numbers that multiply and give us 2? 2 and 1. So I'm going to say plus or minus 1 and 2. And divide it by factors of the first. What's our leading coefficient here? 1. So I'll say plus or minus 1. Most of the time, your first is just going to be 1. So it's just going to make these the whole number. So if I said 1 over 1, that's just 1. 2 over 1, just 2. So we're making these the whole number. So these are our possible options. To see what actually works out to be a real solution, we're going to do synthetic division. Our goal is to get the remainder to be 0. If our remainder is 0, then it's a factor. So we can test any one of our possible solutions, but before we do that, what's going to go inside the box?
1, 0.
Awesome. 1, 0, because we're missing the x squared term, so we have to put a 0 there. So 1, 0, negative 3, and 2. So out of our possible options, which one do you want to test first? Positive 1. Let's do it. So we're going to drop down the 1, multiply on the outside. Gives us 1, add 1, multiply 1, add negative 2, multiply negative 2. What's negative 2 plus 2? 0. What do we say our goal is? To get the remainder of 0. So it works. So one of our answers is going to be x equals 1. Yeah, so these are the possible solutions. We test them to see which one's an actual solution. So you have to get 0 to be the remainder for it to work. So you need the remainder to be 0. So 1 works. Now with our answer, since we started with x to the third power, what's our answer going to start with? So if we start with x to the third power, when we divide x to the second, it's going to be 1 less. So this will be x to the second plus 1x minus 2, or x squared plus x minus 2. From here, once we get x squared, we're going to factor. So let's factor this. What are two factors of negative 2 that add to 1? 2 and negative 1. Perfect. So we have x plus 2 and x minus 1. So what would x equal?
Negative 2 and 1.
Negative 2 and positive 1. Now those are going to be in addition to the one that we already found. So we have 1, 1, and negative 2. So these are 3 solutions. Whatever your highest degree is, here we started with x to the third power, that tells us how many answers we're going to have. We are going to have 3 answers. So these are 3 solutions. No, you don't need to list your multiplicity here. You just got to write out the answers. Now there's 2 different ways of writing out the answers. This, if it just says find the zeros or find the solutions, this would be perfectly fine. Some of the questions are going to say, like, write it out in factored form. So factored form is just the step that we had before this. So we would say x plus 2, what we had here, x minus 1, and x minus 1. So it's always x minus the number. X minus the number. Yeah. So the first one came from here. These were our possible solutions. We had to test to see which one worked. So we tested 1 first, and it worked. Yeah, 1, -1, 2, and -2.
Oh,
So you want to test all of them and see which one works.
so but you're only doing the one on the numerator?
Yeah, because the denominator just makes it a whole number. Like if I had 1/1, that would just be 1. So it's positive and -1 and positive and -2. These are possible solutions. We do synthetic division to see what works. We need to get 0 as the remainder for it to be a solution.
But if it becomes 0, you can factor to get the other ones.
Yep. And then once you get 0 as the remainder, take your answer that you just found. So we took our answer here and factored it. All right, so here's the steps that we're going to do. We're going to list the possible zeros. We have to divide. It says when the remainder is 0, then that's our answer. And then you just repeat. So if you have more than 3 zeros, you will probably have to do the synthetic division more than once until you get to your x squared. Once you get to x squared, then you can factor. So when you get to x squared, then factor to find the other answers. So here it says find all the zeros, then write the answers as linear product factors. So that would just be factored form. So how many solutions are we going to have for number 1? 4. We're going to have 4 answers. To find our answers, our possible answers, we're going to do last over first. So factors of the last over factors of the first. What are 2 numbers that multiply and give us 8? So I'm going to say plus or minus 8 and 1. Anything else? 4 and 2. Over factors of our first, what are factors of the first? Just 1. So we're just talking about the whole numbers here. So we have positive and -1, positive and -8, positive and -2, positive and -4. So we've got lots of possible options. We're going to do synthetic division to see what actually works. What's going to go inside the box? 1, 1, -6, -4, and 8. So our coefficients go inside the box. We're not missing anything here, so we don't need to put any zeros. What do you want to test first? Sure, we can test 1. We want to test any of these possibilities. So we can test 1. We're going to drop down the 1, multiply on the outside. We get 1, add 2, multiply 2, add -4, multiply -4, add -8, multiply -8, add. Does it work? Yes, it works. So one of our solutions, I'll write it over here, is going to be 1. So it works. We got to add it to our solution list. All right, so this started with x to the 4th power. What's our answer going to start with here? X to the 3rd. Can we factor it from here? No, we want to factor it once we get to x to the 2nd power. You can, but grouping's not going to work all the time when you get here. So we're going to practice doing it again. So now these numbers are going to go inside the box. So we have 1, 2, -4, and -8. When you get to x squared, that's when you factor. But here, since we had 4 answers, we have to do this twice. We had 3. So we only needed to do it once, and then we factored to find the other 2.
X to the 2nd.
X to the 2nd. So we're going to take our answers that we just found, put them in the box, and we're going to do synthetic division again. What do you want to try now? Sure, we can try -1. So I'm going to drop down the 1, multiply on the outside, we get -1, add 2, multiply, -2, add -6, multiply, +6, add -2. Does it work?
No.
Nope, doesn't work. So we got to try something else.
2.
So I'm going to erase everything that I just did here, and let's try something else.
2.
Yes.
If you're doing this, like, can you use the same, like, could you use +1?
Yeah, it can repeat, so you can try +1 again if you wanted to. Cole said let's try 2, so we'll try 2. If not, then we'll do 1 next. So let's multiply. We get 2, add 4, multiply 8, add 4, multiply 8, add, what do we get? Does it work? Yes, if your remainder is 0, it works. That's going to be one of your solutions. 2. 2 works. Now here we started with x to the third power, so our answer is going to be 1 less, so it's going to be x to the second power, plus 4x plus 4. Once you get down to x squared, you can factor it. What are 2 factors of 4 that add to 4? 2 and 2. So we have x plus 2 and x plus 2. So what would x equal? Negative 2 and negative 2. So I'm going to add those to my list. Negative 2 and negative 2. So these are our 4 solutions. This answers the first part of the question, to find the zeros. Second part says to write it in factored form. So remember, it's always x minus the number. So we have x minus 1, x minus 2, x minus negative 2 would be x plus 2, and x plus 2. So this would be factored form. Factors of the last over factors of the first. How many solutions are we going to have here? 3 answers. So factors of the last, we're looking for 2 numbers that multiply and give us 24. What multiplies and gives us 24? So 1 and 24. What else? 2 and 12. 3 and 8. And 4 and 6. Perfect. Lots of options here.
Yeah, but let's not try 1.
Over factors of the first, which are just plus or minus 1. So it just makes these the whole number. So we're just focusing on the numbers up top. We're going to do synthetic division. What's going to go inside the box?
1, 5, negative 2, negative 24.
1, 5, negative 2, and negative 24. We're not missing anything, so we don't need to put any zeros. What do you want to try first?
12.
2.
I'd say start with the smaller numbers if you have relatively small numbers in your box here.
4. 24.
Let's try 4. I think 12 might be too big to try. Not saying that it's not going to work, but try the smaller numbers first. We can try 4. Multiply, we get 4. Add 9. Multiply. This would be 36. Add 34. Multiply. It's going to be way too big. Doesn't work. As soon as you realize it doesn't work, you can stop.
Hey, how did you know this is
Because 34 times 4 would be really big. Because remember, it has to end up being 0.
What are you talking about?
Has to add to 0.
Oh.
It's okay, but don't worry.
The remainder has to be 0. But if you get a really big number and then minus 24, it's not going to be 0.
Let's try 2.
Let's try 2. So multiply, we get 2. Add 7. Multiply 14. Add 12. Multiply 24. Add. Does it work? Yep, it works. So x equals 2. So this is going to be one of our solutions because it works. What can we do next?
Now we factor.
Now we can factor. Since we start with x to the third power, our answer here is going to start with x squared plus 7x plus 12. Once you get down to x squared, just factor. What are 2 factors of 12 that add to 7? 3 and 4. So we have x plus 3 and x plus 4. So what would x equal?
Negative 3, negative 4.
Negative 3 and negative 4. So I'm going to add those to my list. Negative 3 and negative 4. Now, the second part of this question says to write the answers as linear product factors. We're just writing it in factored form. So remember, it is always x minus the number. So x minus 2. What would come next?
X plus 3, x plus 4.
X plus 3, x plus 4. How many solutions are we going to have for number 3? 3 answers. So factors of the last over factors of the first. What are factors of 60? 1 and 60, 2 and 30, 3 and 20, 4 and 15, 5 and 12, 6 and 10. I think that's it.
Get the real one.
You don't have to. If you want to just start with listing a few and see what works. Over factors of the first, which are just 1. So that just makes these all whole numbers.
We try 4 first.
We can try 4 first. What's going to go inside the box, though?
1, negative 12, 47, negative 60.
Awesome. 1, negative 12, 47, and negative 60. Cole wants to try 4 first. So we're going to drop down the 1, multiply. 4 times 1 would be 4. 4 minus 12. Negative 8 times 4.
Doesn't work.
Negative 32 plus 47. 15. 15 times 4. Does it work? Yes.
Bingo.
So we're going to say x equals 4. What can we do next? Factors. Since we started with x to the third power, our answer here is going to be 1 less. So it's going to be x to the second power. Once we get to x to the second power, we can just factor. So we have x squared minus 8x plus 15. What are two numbers that multiply to 15 but add to negative 8? Negative 5 and negative 3. Perfect. So x minus 5 and x minus 3. What does x equal?
Plus 5 and plus 3.
Positive 5 and positive 3. So I'm going to add those to my list, 5 and 3.
X minus 4, x minus 5, x minus 3.
Perfect. X minus 4, x minus 5, x minus 3. This would be our factored form. Doesn't have to be in any order. Sometimes if you would have tried 5 first, 5 would work, and then when you factor, you'd get the other two solutions. So even the order that you find them in doesn't matter.
You're always going to ask us to put it in that form.
Not always. I'm not really sure what the homework asks you for. I think some of them might say just find the zeros, so that's just the numbers. Some might say to write it as linear product factors.